Hi there, Mark Spud Carroll here. Yes, nicknamed Spud from rugby league. We're going to hear a story of what I went through from a young guy to playing for Australia, the pinnacle of rugby league to win a competition, and the effects of concussion, which is sort of taking a bit of an adverse effect on me at the moment. But for connectivity, we're going to do my best to explain what went through, so look forward to it. Thank you firstly for asking me for sort of the chat about it. I think now in rugby league it's so important to get that point across regards concussions. I'm now 57, I've got some effects of playing rugby league. As you can tell by my croaky voice, so I've put up with that, but it's just something to do with anxiety which has caused me like that. I feel fine, I'm not anxious about anything, but something up here is causing this tightness in my chest, so hopefully you hear me okay, but I just think with rugby league, it was something I always wanted to do. As a kid, I dreamt about it. From the Greystanes, west suburbs of Sydney, played from the age of 4. Mum and Dad put me into soccer at the start, and I reckon I used to just run around in circles and kick holes in divots, and my mum goes, "Oh, he's smart enough for soccer, we'll put him into rugby league," and I thank my mum for that, because it was a great sort of ride, It started from the age of 5 up until I retired at 32, so it was pretty hard. Well, background is, it's a bit of a trivia question. I'm a para junior, born and bred at Greystanes, but I never ever played for Parramatta due to politics. At the age of 14, I actually went to the dark side and played rugby union for 2 years. And then I went through a Penrith system. I got graded when I was 19. These days it's great. Some kids have already played 50 games at 19, but I didn't really play continuous first grade till I was 23. And then I was, up against the big boys, but played, I think, over 200 games, close to 220. Multiple clubs. Penrith, went to South, went to Manly, went to London Broncos for a year, and then I came back and played for South Sydney, and then they got kicked out. That was 99. But I actually played a game of rugby league at the age of 36. Back then I used to do stuff with Russell Crowe, and he had a rugby league side in Coffs Harbour called Aurora Valley, and I played up there, and I'll tell you, it was I needed closure, or in some ways. I remember he rung and said, "Look, I want you to play rugby league again." And I remember I said, "I'll give you an answer tomorrow." I hadn't ran for 4 years. And then I remember going to see my wife, Malika, she goes, "Just go and play and belt someone. You're always all frustrated." And my life was going up to Coffs Harbour 1, 2, 3 days a week for training, come back, fly. Everyone thought it was a Learjet, but it wasn't. It was a propeller plane. And played 12 games. It was great closure. But in that 12 games, looking back now, I had no concussion efforts in that way, thank God. So I finished on a high. It was good. It was good to have closure in some ways. Multiple times. As a kid, you just think, play on. Violently ill at home. I just think back now, when I was young, finish a game, you go home, you're having dinner, and you're just violently ill from concussions. Back then we had no idea. We just thought, mate, it was a fever. Put a cold pack on your head and that was it. We're talking old school, we're talking back in the 80s. But now, regards to concussions, thank God they get looked after, these players, but when we were coming through, it was a badge of honour not to go off. The background of me, my dad never played rugby league. He was a muso. My mum's only 5 foot tall. Where do I get my toughness from? I was only thinking about the other day. I had a coach who I'd run through brick walls for, a bloke called Bob Fulton. He taught me about toughness and badge of honour, never come off the field. Also, I had a dad who never played rugby league, as I said, but I thought he was God. And whatever he said, I cherished. And his favourite thing was, never show you hurt, always get up. And sometimes I shouldn't have got up, but I was more worried about my dad jumping the fence and kick me up the arse. So that's how you bring up toughness. 57, so we'll say 57, I reckon. Easy, easy, yeah, easy. Even not big ones, little micro ones. You know, like I said, sometimes you put your head where it shouldn't be, but it just happens in rugby league. We're playing the most physical game in the world. All we do is wear a mouth guard. You can wear shoulder pads, they do nothing. You wear a headgear, doesn't really do much. It's just, you know, full body contact and it's aggressive. Like I said, the only time I got concussed wasn't from someone tackling me, it was me either trying to tackle them, put your head in the wrong way, you might hit a hip. But philosophy was old school, the harder you run, you don't get hurt. So that was my motto. Never show you hurt, always get up. There's another one. They're all from my dad, you know. There's nothing, no, it's just, how do you explain it? No, it's just, the whole thing is, at the end of the day, it's, you're playing the most brutal game in the world, and I hate losing, so do your best. It wasn't. I think probably the closest I got to getting better at it was wearing a headgear. I thought this is going to help me. You know, I kept putting my head in the wrong way, and that's what happens in our game of rugby league. Sometimes the adrenaline, you come out the line and you want to hit someone, you put your head in the wrong way, it does happen. So I started wearing a headgear, thinking that was the cure. But the thing is, when you put a headgear on, you put your head where you shouldn't put your feet. So some of the things, like, I actually got situations where, thank God I did have a headgear, but then again, did it work? I don't think they work. They're a piece of rubber protecting the brain, and your brain's only inside your head by that much. So, as I said, that was the game we played. There was no protocols, there was no tests at half time. The closest I got to a test was the doctor saying, okay, I'll give you 2 numbers. Comes out 10 minutes later, all those 2 numbers, I'd go, give me 2 numbers, and he goes, you're right, got back on. That was that game. Oh, the croakiness of my voice, anxiety slash, you know, they call it depression. I'm not depressed. If I was living under a box, then I'm going to be depressed. I've got a loving family, got a good business, love what I do. It's just something over the last year and a half has turned on me. That's why I'm doing other areas of trying to get better. I just want to save one life. That's what I want to do, helping people, being outspoken. Everyone's going, I suppose it's great you've come out. I haven't done this for a pat on the back. I've been hiding behind that guard too long, and I know there's a lot of blokes out there who do. It's a pride of not showing how you are, you know. How many times people say, hey, you feel lame? Oh yeah, I feel great, but you feel shit. You really do feel ordinary. But that's why you just got to come out behind that guard and, you know, come out and do what you got to do. Should have done, well, that was it. Even the heroes before me, the era before my era, man, they were tough, those guys. And there's a lot of those guys now really, really crook from the game we played. It's very important, just for family-wise. Probably the amount of drama I put my family through, probably with just, I don't know, issues, anger, short-temperedness, which I've got to be very careful here. In my gym, you know, training people, you know, short fuse. It's just part of the symptoms of what I'm going through, but if you can control those, it's okay, you know. Well, like I said, I always dreamt about playing footy. I'm sure there's other kids out there who have idols who they want to emulate, but for any parent out there, if you see any signs of concussion, make sure you do something about it. Don't say, oh no, he's tough, he'll be right for next week. You've only got one brain, and look after it. You've only got one brain, look after it. There's the tests you can do on computers these days, brain health tests, which I think is really important, just to do little things to test yourself, especially if you're playing sport. You've got to be able to do what you want to do and not be held back by concussions and these sort of things. So, but my main thing is you've only got one brain to look after, and I'm trying to do that at the moment. No, I don't. Not now, because they're looked after. They are so well looked after. You blink, they've got people watching every angle. They've got cameras. When we were coming through, there was likely 2 cameras. They've got bloody cameras everywhere. So you go into a tackle, and as soon as I used to come back in the line, smell the salts, and then go again. Because now it's like, you get back in the line, they do this. Next thing, the referee, okay, stop the game, you're off. HIA goes and does the protocols of a cognitive test, which we never ever did. I didn't even know what it was until I did my first one. So yeah, well, I worry about kids. My Josh didn't play, but then again, I'm glad he didn't play, because I'm sort of the bloke now who I don't like seeing people get hurt, and I see a lot of in rugby league. Juniors, I've been there. You want to be a certain player, you have to work hard, you have a parent pushing you, whereas, as I said, you've only got one brain. I never thought about it probably 5 years ago, but now I have been really thinking about it, saying to anyone out there, if you get any concerns, make sure you go and see someone. Speak up about it, You might have issues, it might be not on the day, it might be 3 days down the track. I've had a headache 3 days. What do you reckon you got a headache from? Go and get checked out. So really, in a sort of breakdown of what I've been saying, is that for any player, any parent, any adult, any person who's fallen over, maybe hit their head, maybe played rugby league, maybe played a sport, if you've got any concerns, please go and chat to someone about it. Don't go holding it in here. That's why I've come out. I've come out behind the shield to help some people. And you're not soft because you're coming out. You're not soft because you're saying, I need help. Thing is, there's people out there who can help you. Come out and speak. If you want to know more about concussions, go on the Connectivity website and look under concussions and all the courses they've got there. You're there to learn, you're there to praise, you're there to push. Go and help someone every day.